Train the muscles, not the joints.
Welcome back to Natural Gallant Bodybuilding Mountain. And today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about progressive overload and how somebody in the comments said below, they said that they had heard somewhere that progressive overload is not for bodybuilding. It's only for powerlifting or for gaining strength. And I just want to bring attention to this, that it's absolute BS, okay? Bottom line, natural bodybuilding, in the end, you do have to gain strength or strength endurance, and they're usually closely related in order to gain muscle. Now, it always depends on the context in which a statement is made. So I know a lot of people misunderstand things on the internet too. So sometimes they'll take something out of context and take this one little part that they don't totally understand what the person said, and then they make it into their own sort of meaning or their own definition. But the fact is that when you are trying to put on muscle mass, you do have to gain strength. So even if you're doing 10 reps of something or 15 reps of something or 20 reps of something, you do eventually have to improve with the amount of weight that you can do for that amount of reps. That is still a strength gain. Strength gains is not exclusive to a 1 rep max. Although your 1 rep max will go up, if you could just play with 400 pounds for sets of 20 reps, I guarantee you're going to have a better 1 rep max than if you were playing with 225 for 20 reps. You know what I'm saying? So strength plays a role in this whole game because that's going to influence your nervous system. Your nervous system is how you fire the muscles and how hard you can fire the muscles and how many fibers you can fire at once. That's mainly strength training itself. But when you rep out with that strength, now you're stimulating all these muscle fibers to grow, and then therefore bigger muscles allows you now to stimulate more muscle and therefore more strength. So it's all related. You can't just basically do 10-minute sets and think that you're going to get big and strong. I did lots of experiments over the years. Like over the 30 years, I did so many different experiments you don't even know when it comes down to training. And I actually lost size when I was doing sets of 30, 40, 50 reps all the time and never any strength days or never any heavier days where I was doing 10 reps or 8 rep sets or 7 rep sets. I needed to perform heavy sets here and there in order to make sure that I gained muscle. Something was behind me. You never know where those guys are that, well, the guys that grew too much because they used one of my workout programs. So just forgive me here if I'm looking over my back here. You still haven't found them. They still haven't found these guys and captured them. They're like finding carcasses and stuff everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like troll carcasses. They're finding troll carcasses everywhere. That's really what's happening. And I mean, I don't really like the trolls on this channel or anything like that, but they're finding carcasses. I kind of feel bad for the trolls now. That's what I feel bad for. Well, typical. Looks like a sharpening tool of some sort. It's possible these guys got weapons. It's possible. Oh, here's a chin-up bar right here. Look at that. Chin-up bar. For sure doing chin-ups on that. That looks typical. Typical forced pull-up bar right there. All right, I think we're okay. I think we're all right. So anyway, getting back to the subject at hand, I noticed that when I just did exclusively like sets of 40, 50 reps all the time, I actually got smaller. I needed to do some heavier weights here and there. Now, some people seem to grow from that. I'm open to that fact. I'm open to the fact that some people can have sets of 50 reps, but in the end, they're going to have to use progressively heavier weight in order to get more muscle at those same rep ranges. And that's really my point. So don't misunderstand the whole progressive overload principle, and don't misunderstand that as a natural bodybuilder that you can get away with just pumping up light weights or whatever and just growing, right? Because again, you're not going to stimulate the whole system like you need to if you're never using any heavy weight. That's just really par for the course, as they say in golf. So as far as the best combination, I find usually training a body part once a week or once every 2 weeks fairly heavy is a good idea, especially with the compound movements. I'm not talking about isolations. Isolations go by their own rules, but when it comes down to compound movements, I found I get the best results if I train heavy once every week or once every 2 weeks. And heavy, I mean in the 8 rep range or 6 rep range or 10 rep range. That's all heavy reps to me. That's still a decently heavy set. And when it comes down to the pumping movements and stuff like that, I find that then, 70–80% of the time, I can do sets of 20 to 30 reps and in that area, right? Depending on how sensitive that area feels, how good it feels, whatever. Because you're gonna have to use an umbrella when it's raining. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people, they want an exact recipe, but in the end, it's gonna be about what's right in that moment. Because I've also experienced when I used high rep sets too often, I feel deflated or burned out in a certain way, and only until I do a heavy set do I feel pumped up. Eh? How was that for you, buddy? You have a good meal? But after doing those lightweight sets or those high rep sets a lot, I start to feel deflated almost. It's almost like at first it pumps me up, but then after a while I almost feel deflated. And then I know I need to go heavier. And when I go heavier for a set or two, or for a few workouts, or maybe even for a week, then I come back to the reps, then they work again. So this is why sometimes it'll seem like I contradict myself, because your body responds for a period of time to certain types of stimulus, and then it sometimes needs something else. And that's why I mix things up. I found that there's this synergy that happens, and that's really what you want to take advantage of. Now, the other thing you want to make sure that you're doing too is not trying to cut too hard when you're trying to put on muscle. You don't want to be like having your carbs down in the basement and your fats down in the basement, where you're having very little nutrients come into the body. And if you don't have enough nutrients, you're not going to recover, right? So there is something to that. Now, I'm not saying you have to go like 7,000 calories over your daily requirement or anything like that, and I never counted calories, but you should be eating so that you don't feel like you're denying yourself anything. You're not denying the body what it may need in order to recover. And yes, that should be, majority should be protein and the energy with which to fuel your workouts. And a little bit of carbs is definitely helpful, because carbohydrates do actually help fill you up and help give you that glycogen storage in the muscle, which also works to be very anti-catabolic. It has a protein sparing effect to have carbohydrates in your diet. Now, you don't want to be going so much that you're putting on lots of body fat, but basically take in a lot of food. And then if you start to put on a lot of body fat, just back off on the carbohydrates a bit, or back off on the fats a little bit, and then replace that with protein, and you'll be fine. Now, that's really it. I mean, people try to overcomplicate this whole process, but you don't have to get quite so complicated about it. Just get in your daily requirement of protein, which is about 1 gram per pound of lean body weight. And you can have a little bit more for sure. You can have more protein. I found that I feel better with more protein rather than less. So you could definitely do that. But don't overcomplicate it by saying, geez, if I'm 100 calories over or 150, where am I at, whatever. You're getting too mental about this, you know what I'm saying? Just put the effort out, gain strength. Yes, you need to gain strength or strength endurance in order to gain muscle, and make sure you have enough nourishment in order for your body to grow that muscle with. Guy with a noisy truck now. Redneck. God dang redneck going by, man. That's a loud truck, man. Damn, he must be going duck hunting, man. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching. If you need to get hold of me, just go to naturalgallantbodybuilding.com, and thanks to the Patreon supporters, and take care for now. Mountain. All right, guys, come out of hiding now, eh? I'm not a troll. I don't taste too good. I don't even think I taste good at all, actually, but just remember, I'm your friend. I gave you the workout program. No need to bite the hand that wrote the program. Hey? You guys can go for a walk in there. I'll just wait here for you.